You're listening to Your Rivers Are Wrong, the podcast. My name is Merle. I'm here with my good friend Dante, and we're here to build worlds and tell their stories. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Good morning, or evening, or afternoon, whenever you may be. Welcome back to the Your Rivers Are Wrong podcast. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Dante.
And I'm the other host, and my name is Merle.
And we're here, as we are every week, to talk about the wonderful whimsies of world building, the arts and aesthetics of setting up a setting and telling stories born from it.
That's right.
Now, today is a very special episode because we're going away from our usual script.
What?
It's going to be a little bit interesting. Usually on these episodes, we each bring a topic to the transatlantic table relating to world building or storytelling. I bring one, Merle brings one. But today, we're doing something new and exciting, something we haven't done before. I went to my YouTube audience. If anyone listening for the first time doesn't know, I run a channel called Wintry D&D. And I wanted to ask for world building prompts. Every episode, we usually do one prompt at the end of the episode. But today, we're doing all prompts. Nothing but prompts.
That's right.
It's going to be definitely a little bit interesting. Before I do, actually, I did want to toss out something. I wanted to tell you before, but now I'm going to tell you now. The number of views that we have in total on our podcast is 1,997.
Oh, that's so close. We should make like a celebratory moment the next time we record, because that's definitely gonna be surpassed by then.
Oh, we got to talk about it next episode.
Ooh.
If you want to hear our celebration, watch next episode.
Yes.
But right now, we're 3 away.
Stay tuned.
From 2K. I was really hoping to say 2K today, but we're getting real close.
Yeah.
It couldn't happen. So this is how this episode's going to go down. Each of us has prepared 2 questions or 2 world building prompts that we pulled from the YouTube audience. I sent out a community post like 2 weeks ago for us to choose from, and a little bit on Twitter, which I'll pull from later. And we're just going to toss it to each other and try to improvise what this world or setting or story might look like if it had time to be fleshed out and built into a proper, deserving thing, right?
That's right. Also, thank you so much for sending in these amazing prompts, because they were very fun to go through. And I think it's even more fun when we are not the ones thinking, like making them up.
Yeah.
I never realized how fun that can be. And we're doing it today. We should do it more.
Oh, we absolutely should. And we absolutely will, now that I think about it.
Calling it now.
Calling it now. Thank you for sending in all those prompts. I remember reading them just being like, ooh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one too. Ooh, I don't know which one to pick.
That's what you want with good prompts, right? Yeah.
Yes,
that's a good feeling.
Yes. All right. So to jump into this, I believe, Merle, you'll be starting us off. Shoot to me. That's weird.
Please don't.
Fire away and give me the first prompt for this episode.
Okay. I indeed have the first prompt for you. And
Okay.
should we talk about why we chose this? No, I guess we're just going for it, right?
I mean, up to you. This is the first time we're doing this.
I feel like it's a quick improv episode, this one. So I want it to be snappy. Let's go. Okay, here goes nothing. This wonderful prompt was sent in by Doug. I don't know if you know the names, but I did, because maybe that's nice. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, fantastic.
And Doug sent in the following prompt. I want to see a civilization that isn't allowed to write anything down. Words cannot hit paper.
Words cannot hit paper? Is that like
that's the prompt?
Magically binding? like
Good
if someone's
question.
Struggling with a pen and paper?
You tell me, Dante.
Can't do it. I don't know. I think this Doug is the friend of the show, Doug, the one that messages us every now and then.
I was thinking there was another Doug, and it's probably the same one. Awesome.
Yeah, it could be the same Doug. We're not sure. But if this is the same Doug, hey, what's up?
Hi, same Doug.
Thank you for sending in those emails. If anybody has any emails or wants to reach out to us, our email is yourriversarewrong@gmail.com. But moving on with this prompt, somewhere where paper doesn't exist, therefore... No, paper doesn't exist.
I mean, that could be the deal. You tell me.
Things can't be written down. Pens have not been invented. Pencils not exist. And it can't touch paper. That is so interesting. Okay, so obviously I'm going to start it off. The way things are transmitted, first and foremost, is speaking, right? The word of mouth, people have done that for a very long time. Even before written languages were developed, things were passed on from person to person simply by memory, which is, ineffective, right? It's not the best way to remember
Fair enough,
things.
yeah.
If something goes wrong, you lose your favorite archivist, then everything is just your history is gone. So we have to figure out something that is more systemic. There's no written words, runes, sigils, anything like that. So, I'm thinking of the 5 senses. I'm thinking of
I can hear the processing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's sight, sound, hearing, taste, smell. I don't want the main mode of recording to be smell. I feel like that's just unpleasant. I also don't think taste is appropriate for this.
Instantly so confusing. Yeah.
Could you imagine you lick a book and you just understand the story?
Ah, gross. Did you know that in the past I would collect those I don't know if this is a thing in America at all. Sorry, side note already.
Fire away. I don't know where you're going with this.
But we would have these notebooks, block notes, I guess.
Okay.
From a mouse character called Diddle. And you would collect these these notepads, and you would kind of swap them out with other people, and you would have a big collection of paper with his character on it. And some of them were super cool because they had a certain smell to it. It was kind of perfumed paper or something. But then some were very nice smelling, and others were very gross. There was a licorice one, I think, and you wanted to collect them because they were very rare, but they were also very gross. And instantly, when you're can you just smell books? And I was like, no, don't do that. Bad idea.
Wait,
Tried that, failed.
What do you mean by
didn't work?
What do you mean by rare books? There's a special apple pear book that I must have.
What is that? That's kind of how it works. There's so many variations on these block notes. So any one that you don't have yet, you want to have, because it's like collecting Pokemon cards. If you have the rare one, it's very cool because then no one else has it. But then if there's a very gross smelling one, no one has it, so it's very rare, but you don't really want to own it, but you do anyway. It's complicated. Anyway, sorry.
Someone made every flavor beans a collectible, and that troubles me.
Yeah, that's problematic.
Cool. By the way, again, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, I'm from the US, New York.
Oh, yeah.
And Merle, where are you from?
I'm from Holland, from the Netherlands, all the way across the sea.
Yes.
So we might have some cultural differences every now and then.
Just a little,
of which this is an example, I guess. Yeah.
Collectible smells.
Interesting concept. Not really good in praxis.
There's scratch and sniff, I guess. Does that exist in your?
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like the way those block notes would work.
Okay. So let's get back to it, right? Let's get back to it.
Yeah. Reeling it back in.
So if this is a non-magical setting, the best way to do anything is to just record the audio of it. And if we can't write anything down, then what would probably happen is that the technology would become advanced enough to detect certain words or key phrases in recordings.
Ooh.
So you could very quickly search through the archives of I'm looking for this word for this topic.
Right.
And I need these 3 words, and any file that has those words you're looking for will kind of show up and be what you're using. It'll be, I think, auditory is the best way to keep things recorded if you don't have it possibly written down.
Everyone would be making podcasts.
Yes.
Nice.
Now, if this was a fantastical world, the way I would love things to be preserved is in magical paintings. It would be pieces of art on walls, tapestries.
That's cool.
Maybe just a special kind of ink where you write something down or you paint something or draw a scene. And if somebody touches it or witnesses it, they are thrown into the environment, the situation, what happened there. So you touch a painting of an oceanside and you hear hit the smell of salt.
Oh, it's like a sensory sort of gateway to whatever is portrayed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And that would be the easiest way to preserve historical events, things that have happened, conversations, expressions.
Okay, here's my question though. Is there then artistry involved, or is it documentation, or is it art, these pieces?
I'm sure it's both. I'm sure there's people who are very, very talented who can do it the best. And they're we know this man, Domontru over here, is the best at preserving realistic situations. So if you want the facts of what happened, they would know.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to go to a festival or a music situation and you want some kind of extra flair on it, then you go to Lamont over here, and he adds these visual swirls and colors to every sound that you hear.
Okay.
Yeah. What's that word where synesthesia when colors can
that's so cool, right?
Sights can be sounds, that is the artistry. And of course, in these situations, you would have to deal with forgeries and being well, this didn't actually happen this way. This guy is embellishing. There was no blue sky over here. It was raining. I don't know why he painted a blue sky. That kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, that counts for any documentation of history in general.
Exactly.
Right? This is a classic example of history books totally being biased towards whatever country it's written in or language it's written in.
Yeah. So Doug, that's my answer to your prompt. The answer, it is not written down. Pen did not touch paper. A paintbrush did. That's my answer.
Loophole.
That's my
Take
answer
that,
to your
Doug.
prompt. Take that,
No,
Doug.
I love it.
Anyway, thank you for the prompt, Doug.
Awesome.
If you're truly the same Doug from before, you provided us with the currency episode, which was very exciting.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed talking about that. We have a big backlog of episodes. If you ever want to dive into actual topics and not just prompts, we have like 2.5 seasons where you can do that. So, my turn to toss a prompt to you.
Yes. Go for it.
And this I'm going to be pulling from my Twitter, at the Wintry Wyvern. I asked the same thing to them that I did the YouTube audience, and only one person replied. So they're the winner here. This prompt for you comes from actually another YouTuber. One of my good friends, Flute Sloot, another D&D YouTuber, provided this prompt. Thank you, Flute Sloot.
That's the best name, by the way.
Flute Sloot.
I love it.
Yes, it's wonderful. This prompt is, and I was tempted to use it on the Halloween episode before, but we'll use it here.
You saved it. Good. I'm very curious now.
So, light from the moon is an anti-magic field.
That's the prompt?
That's it.
Oh!
That's it. So give me
that's
again,
cool. Okay.
the scope of the setting is all up to you. City, village, world, continent, whatever you want.
Ooh, it's a sort of like reverse bathing in moonlight kind of thing then, huh?
Yeah.
I guess for this to be very impactful, the world is very, very fucking magical. So this moonlight that's happening, I guess, whenever there's not clouds. Is the sky even normal? I guess let's say the sky works the way our usual sky works. So if there's clouds in front of the moon, or if, I guess, in very rare occasions, the sun's in front of the moon, things are as they are every day. And as soon as the moon's visible and casting light on the planet, or Earth, if it is Earth, then suddenly certain things are exposed, and I guess problems will start to arise if they are reliable on magic. I see this kind of as a super thriving world, right? For this to have the most contrast, I feel like the world itself has magic steeped in its veins.
Sure.
Yeah. Is that how you say it? Sure. I'll make it the way you say it. Magic is electricity. It's knowledge, it's art, perhaps, it's relationships between people, it's hierarchy. This is everywhere, right? This is your high fantasy, satisfactory, magic is in the air feeling. This is what this world is.
Right.
I feel like because it's the moon and the moon's kind of around all the time anyway, it's not a surprise that the moonlight works this way.
Of course.
Except for when it's in a snap, suddenly this is an anti-magic thing and it wasn't before. Mm-hmm. But I feel like this is a natural thing somehow. So it has worked forever this way.
Right.
But that means that, first off, anything is more difficult to do at night, depending on the weather, depending on whether the moon is visible or not. Anything to do is basically not being hit by the light, or just don't do anything at night. So I feel like perhaps there's a lot of underground things going on that are not dependent on light. So I imagine there's like a very bustling 24-hour market going on somewhere. It's not going to be above ground, because then half of the time they don't know if any of their wares are going to behave the way they should, because there's magic everywhere. All these things work in a cool, fancy, magic-y way. But they don't if there's moonlight around all the time. Mm-hmm. And this is the main market, right? So this got to be a large underground sort of something. I feel like this city is also famous for artificial magical light at night. So there's never going to be any moonlight settings, because that's super unpractical. I think there might also be kind of smart-ass people that deal in things that provide shade, kind of, literally from the moon. Perhaps there's specific clothing that you can wear, or specific vehicles that you can use for kind of blocking the light from you, so that you can also travel or do whatever you want at night. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of inventions and specific ways that this world deals with not having to be an anti-magic field.
Yeah.
And maybe the last thing I want to leave this prompt with is also that I feel like the hippies of this world definitely still bask in moon glow, because they believe it's purifying and stuff, even though it means they're just super regular people now. Like, there's probably like magic tattoos and shit, or people can fly or whatever, or they have cool like ancestries and stuff. Not if you're in moonlight. So, everyone's equal in moonlight. There's a large underground scene where people are like, we don't need the magic for this world to be beautiful and for people to be interesting. We want to thrive in normalcy. And that's what they do at night in a grassy field where no one else wants to go, I guess.
Hey, I love that line. Everyone's equal in moonlight. Put that on a book cover. Put that on the back of the book.
Sounds like a prompt in general. Yeah.
That's so,
we can
so,
keep going.
so good. Yeah. So what I loved about this prompt was that a really good prompts present you with a universal truth to build around. But what I liked about this one is that there are implied universal truths like in there. If you say there's an anti-magic field, that implies there's magic, right?
Yeah, you kind of work your way reversely to make the most impact, I guess.
And it totally gets my brain spinning. Like, there's definitely people who like weaponize moonlight and are like, I use
cool.
this because you guys are so reliant on it, and I can totally like ruin you if I just had a pocket of moonlight.
Yeah, and also just imagine the power of like something losing magic. Like, is it a permanent thing? For instance, if you have, I don't know, the famous royal necklace that possesses healing abilities, whatever, if it gets stolen, someone throws it in moonlight, bam, your fancy artifact's gone, right? Is it a permanent thing? That would be cool. Because then suddenly there's this sort of metaphorically black hole that you can just throw stuff in for things or effects or skills to disappear, right?
Right.
If someone like goes into moonlight, what if it's forever? What if you're permanently removed of all your magic abilities? That's weird. That's pretty dangerous and terrible to think of if you're used to the most magic world you've ever seen.
It didn't even occur to me to put the world underground. Like, when you thought of that, I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. I thought everything would just be placed in cloudy places like Holland and Seattle.
I don't know if that's shade or the other way. I'm not sure how.
Well, it is shade for the whole country.
We would be more magical because of it. Huh?
You would be inherently a better magical place.
I'll take it.
Could survive
sure.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Flute, for your prompt.
Yeah, this one was cool. I love it.
Really enjoyed that one.
The reverse thinking is very fun to me. Like, how can I have the most contrast and confusion and trouble by going the complete opposite direction of the usual world? Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Love that. And with that, we'll bounce to our third prompt.
Yeah.
And toss it to me, right?
I got another cool one for you.
All right.
This one is by Vanitas, I think. Pretty cool name.
Cool.
Also, an art discipline, if you want to look that up. It's pretty cool.
Okay, cool.
Makes like cool paintings about like skulls and stuff. Anyway, Vanitas send in the following prompt. Build me a small city where they've developed the ability to tell if someone is lying.
Ooh, I saw that one and I really wanted to choose it. I'm so glad you chose it. Oh,
there you go.
Okay, cool.
Please elaborate. Please explain to me how this works.
Small city where they've developed a way to tell people if people are lying. That's how it's phrased?
A small city where they've developed the ability to tell if someone is lying. Yes.
Okay. So now, if I want it to be boring, I would just say that's a lie detector. It already exists.
End
Move
of
on.
prompt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But what would be awesome about this for this prompt is if this was something everyone could do. If this was like an innate, like mental ability to kind of clock when people are lying.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And everyone could do it, right? There is room for a story where like only the highest in power, or like a classism setting where only the best can tell people are lying, and that power is not given to the people below. That exists. That story exists, and I'm sure it'd be really good. But I would like to try to go for this strange, almost a utopian / dystopian approach,
equal version
where
of it. Yeah.
everyone can do it. Just straight up, it's a talent, so nobody does it, right? Think about it, right? If everyone can tell if everyone is lying, and that power persists, like almost like a subtle superpower, if that power exists for multiple generations, people will be very careful about what they say. They will not necessarily say truths or lies. Everything will kind of be like an implied,
sort of like oracle style talk. Is that what you're saying?
We all know what's going to happen here. Like, I don't know if he should be doing that, but if he does, that kind of situation. And people would kind of get used to that sort of thing, either being absolute in their statements and being very truthful about everything they say, very lawful in that sort of sense, or kind of avoiding it by saying sly misphrasings. And everybody will get used to that. But in this setting, I would like, if that's an ability you have to turn on or concentrate on.
Oh, okay. So everyone could do it, but it takes a specific effort to sort of tap into the skill.
Yeah, it takes just a little bit of effort.
Okay.
Right.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And people become so used to a world where lying is impractical that people stop using the power. They just kind of assume that things.
Oh, that's funny.
People are being pretty truthful, because why would you lie in a world where everybody can tell, right?
Oh, okay.
So there's this little tiny game that either the protagonist or the anti-hero has to play where you lull somebody into the complacency of not searching for lies, and then you lie to them.
Yeah, you get them comfortable enough to not use the ability. That's now the challenge, I guess. Oh,
because
okay.
when you meet somebody, obviously you're gonna put that thing on because you got to turn that dial. And nobody I'm using webcams right now, but every time I talk about lying, I'm like twisting something in my head.
Yeah,
that
turning the wheels.
Can see. Yeah, to kind of turn the switch on. You have got to lure them into a complacency of being like, I can trust this person. The first couple conversations we've had, they've never lied. They never needed to. They're perfectly fine. And then they start slipping in little lies. And it's just like, oh, wait, was that truth? Oh, I missed the check. Oh, I'm not really sure. Okay. Well, it could be kind of weird to ask them again about that sort of thing. So they were probably just telling the truth there. You know, a setting like this really lends itself to the kind of psychological genre where it's like,
yeah, for sure.
You're playing this game where you want to trust everybody. Everybody implicitly wants to trust everybody. So if you turn on that ability, if you turn on the ability to lie, if there's a tell, that'd be really neat.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, is this a super secret thing that only I know if I am turning the skill on, I guess, for lack of a better wording?
And isn't that interesting, right? Could you imagine if you're detecting if somebody is lying, there's a little pale green aura around your head.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But to do that, implicitly implies that you don't trust the person you're speaking to.
Yeah.
So there's a social conundrum there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you checking if I'm lying? You don't trust me?
This is a relationship issue now.
Why are you using the aura? You don't trust me? I'm telling the truth. I'm always telling the truth. You don't need that. Don't use that around me because I'm offended, right? Oh, and then the game starts playing, right? Then you can see like, oh, I really want to check if they're lying, and I can, and everyone can. Then those are the universal truths. But I don't want to because that changes my dynamic with them.
Right.
And I don't want that.
Can I sort of tiny side note?
Of course.
I feel like there's one scene in this story that definitely is in this world now because I manifested it.
Of course.
I feel like there's one scene in which the main character gets sort of snatched off the street or whatever by like a super ominous person, scary looking person.
Sure.
That interviews them basically, like in a police kind of way. Like it's that interrogates. There we go. That's the word. In which the scary looking character interrogates the main character in a room specifically made for, I don't know. I feel like, hold on, let me get this out of my brain. I feel like there's a green room somewhere, right? Where the aura is not really visible.
Oh.
So it's like, okay, if you really want to make the deal, I don't know how that was a very long lead up to what I'm saying now, but but if you want to make a deal in complete sort of blind trust or something, it's like the highest of deals you can make. I don't know, where you're both in this room and you're not sure if either of you, like, sort of the trust is in not knowing if it's turned on or not, the skill.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like the setting is here somewhere because it's specifically a color thing.
Let's simplify that. Let's turn that into glasses.
Oh.
It's just green lens glasses. Rose tinted, but now it's green.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
And if you're going to make a deal, you have to wear the glasses. You can't tell the aura thing going on.
Yeah.
I mean, a green room is way more visually interesting.
It's cinematic
it's cinematic,
room, sure.
but technology would advance.
But for practical use, glasses make more sense. Yes. Yeah, that's very cool.
Gosh.
Oh, this is complicated.
I can see some sort of weird techno-urban Regency story where this is like a really interesting
That's a good combo
dynamic
of genres. Oh my god, I want to know this now. Yeah. That's great.
Wow, I love that prompt.
Awesome.
I love how the ones previous were like very visual, very very, grand, and this one is very much smaller on a social 1-to-1 person ratio.
They all tap also into specific very different things, which I love. That's very nice.
Yeah.
We didn't plan that.
Why don't we do this more often? These prompts are really cool.
We should. Okay. Holding you accountable on that.
Planning for the future. All right. Well, we'll tap into you guys again. But I believe for this episode, this very special episode, we have one more prompt.
Yay.
And I'm going to dig that up right now.
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. For the last prompt, this comes from Dom KHXIII. Dom KHXIII. And I'm guessing the XII at the end is a 13. So Dom KH13, perhaps?
Makes sense to me.
Brings us our final prompt. A mundane kingdom that discovers its coastal sand dunes are created from magical debris.
Oh.
couple layers to that.
Yeah. Honestly, I was already dissecting mundane kingdom because I find it funny that you can like describe a kingdom as mundane. Like, you get your huge kingdoms over here, and then the cool ones are actually behind the mountains over there. Yeah. Say that again one more time for me.
Sure. A mundane kingdom that discovers its coastal sand dunes are created from magical debris.
Yeah, okay. Magical debris. What does that even mean, right?
Yeah. What is that? Gotta pick those pieces together.
I'll start off with this. Assuming these sand dunes are regular sand, I would say.
Sure.
So whatever magic was the cause of it, it ended up with basically creating these dunes. That's what's going on here. So the dunes are not magic itself. Let's put like a little restriction over here.
Sure.
I feel like this is very Holland appropriate because we like water and we like creating land. In case you didn't know, that's a thing that Holland people do a lot.
Sure.
Or, I mean, not all of us, but we have this skill.
Famous skills.
Famously so. So I feel like this is, instead of, the usual way one might, dig up sand or create extra land or straighten your borders or create dikes or whatever, which is usually, I think, just by boat and, machines and stuff. I don't actually really know. I feel like this is the result of a very, very large mythical creature.
Ooh.
I'm instantly getting like mind pictures of like magical whales or something, or like water dragons that just have lived here for ages, are older than the world, right? That don't really care about their mundane kingdoms, or I guess the one mundane kingdom that exists on this otherwise very wild planet, I think. Or
cool.
Whatever, landmass, what are we talking about? Sure. And I feel like this is the result of a sort of epic battle between two of these creatures that fought for dominance of the world, maybe, or seas, or something incredibly large and impressive like that I'm making up now.
You got it.
I feel like this was a giant sort of kaiju battle between two super magic large whales, I guess, that lasted so long. I don't know where I'm going. Keep up. Hold up.
Wait,
I'm getting there.
I have to clarify. Giant magical whale ancient kaiju battles.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay. Just making sure that's on the paper. Got it.
Keep up here, Dante.
I'm keeping up.
Okay, this was a fight, right? Lasted for years and years and years. Before this, I feel like what's the word again? The video of like history of the entire world, I guess.
Yes.
Then there were civilizations, and then the sea was created. I feel like these whales basically created the sea between the land masses that are now sort of separated by sea and coastal dunes.
Makes sense.
And because they had so much weight, mass, and I guess power to them, that the whole sort of digging up of that earth to reveal or get filled with water, I guess, with seawater, resulted in the fact that there's a very large portion of all that sand that was first in the middle shoved to the side, and basically creating these dunes or these sort of protruded, I guess, places of sand residue.
Sure.
That created kind of the boundaries of this landmass that we're talking about, our very humbly mundane kingdom is located on.
Yeah.
But they don't know about the whales. They just know there's a large, maybe terrifying roaring sea. There's maybe myths about it. There's maybe legends. Sure.
Of course.
They might see like some strange movement in the distance. But these humble, mundane people, they just live their basic life. They're not used to dunes being formed by giant magical kaiju battling whales. They're just used to the dunes being there forever because they have, lives only as large as maybe 80 years, and that's about it. These whales have lived forever. So I feel like maybe this is just like where the mundane kingdom is so normal that it doesn't even realize there's magical wheels. So it's just like, and I guess the earth works this way when like the earth shifts around, and during a lot of, years of geography changing and volcanic eruptions, they just basically have the knowledge that we have. And they're super wrong about it because they've never seen these whales in their life before. And actually, these dudes are like not made by, the earth moving around or geography reasons. Nah, they're just a bunch of whales having a big fight and creating a sea.
And this, as we pan out, is actually just Earth. Scientists have gone to the beach, found this magical debris, and we've all just painted it as science. But in fact, truthfully,
Yeah.
And Merle, clarify once more, what is the truth of the matter of these magical debris? I want to hear it one more time.
It's giant magic whales fighting over dominance for their lives. End of prompt.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Wow. I think this truly illustrates the variety of both our prompts and our prompt finalizing skills. You know, sometimes it's just giant whales having a fight. That's all I got.
Sometimes it's unique and complex social structures, and the other times it's giant fighting whales.
Yes. Thank you for listening.
All right. Well, thanks you guys for tuning in to this episode.
Perfect.
If you want more like this is the first time we've done an all prompts episode. So if you want more of these types of episodes, please let us know. If you want to listen to us just cover normal topics and have like ordinary discussions about things in world building and storytelling, we have like 35 episodes before this. And
we do
covering
those too.
Just about 70 different topics among them. So please tune into that. Thanks for listening. If you're listening to this on YouTube, hey, nice seeing you here.
Hi.
And if you're listening to this on the podcast, welcome back.
Yeah.
And as you world build and storytell, as you kind of find yourself in this hobby and find yourself in these pockets of inspiration, tackling a new world at large, there's something you should always remember.
Yeah. There's that one thing.
And that is, your rivers are wrong.
Yeah, they're pretty wrong.
Have a good one.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Your Rivers Are Wrong. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas for future episodes that you'd like to hear us cover, feel free to contact us at yourriversarewrong@gmail.com. Our intro and outro music is written by Maarten Schellekens. Thanks for that. And again, thank you so much for listening. We hope to see you at the next one.